A harassment by who? As he said, it's just a little girl. The Chappell Roan situation is crazy. I swear to God, I never heard of her, him, it name. I don't know how to describe it, but I never heard of the name before. And before we begin to this video, guys, please, if you have any videos, send it to me because I'm honestly running out of reaction videos, bro. I'm telling you, till my PC comes, trust me, I'm gonna start doing gaming and reaction. But for now, I'm just trying my best to record every day. Thank you. Let's begin.
Long since we've talked about like a real life celebrity get themselves into drama that I kind of forgot what it felt like. I'm so used to having to research like micro influencers that it was kind of nice to be able to type a name into Google and not have to be like, hey buddy, do we need to call someone? You just typed in something that doesn't exist. Ladies and gentlemen, we've ascended. We've finally drama maxed enough that we are able to step out of our comfort zone, out of the world of silly internet drama, influencer drama, stuff that doesn't really mean anything in the grand scheme, into the world of real celebrity drama that also means nothing in the grand scheme. Are you proud of me? Recently, Chappell Roan, one of the biggest artists of the last year or so, has found herself in a bit of a pickle. If you haven't heard, which if you're watching this video, I'm going to assume that you either have no idea what I'm talking about, or you know exactly what I'm talking about, every single last detail.
I have no idea.
Waiting patiently to decide whether or not to leave a nasty comment based off how I discuss this. I appreciate the patience. Basically though, just to get you up to speed before we go through all the fine details, 2 days ago, a famous soccer player named Jorginho went onto Instagram and made a claim that while his 11-year-old stepdaughter was staying at a hotel for Lollapalooza, while she was eating breakfast, she saw somebody walk past her that she thought was Chappell Roan. The kid knew that Chappell Roan was performing at Lollapalooza. She got excited and she wanted to see if it was actually Chappell Roan. So apparently the kid got up and walked past the singer's table, looked to see if it was her. After she walked past, she went back to her table and sat back down with her mom. Now apparently what followed after this was a security guard approached the table and told the mother and told the daughter that she should not be allowed to disrespect and harass people and threatened to file a complaint with the hotel. This obviously led to the girl getting upset, and I'm assuming that is what led her stepdad to make this Instagram post. Now, there are a lot of sides to that story.
A harassment by who? As he said, it's just a little girl, bro. No way you guys are actually serious about that. Fucking weirdos, bro.
That have already been made public. Chappell Roan has released a response video. The mother has released one. But before any of that happens, in response to this Instagram story post, the mayor of Rio banned Chappell Roan from ever performing in his city. He said that as long as I'm in charge of our city, this young lady, and he tagged Chappell Roan, will never perform at Todo Mundo no Rio, which is like a big series of giant music festivals that they host in Rio. And this happening seemed to blow this up into just this big giant shit show, and the internet seems to be a bit divided. And I think a big reason for that is obviously Chappell Roan's long history of being so vocal about her boundaries with fans and paparazzi, which personally I think there's
Ugh. What the fuck? Yo, why is your nails like 9-inch long, bruh? What the fuck? Is that really what the paparazzi want to see?
of being so vocal about her boundaries with fans and paparazzi, which personally I think there's absolutely nothing wrong with. I think that more celebrities should probably follow suit. I've always thought the idea of paparazzi just being able to like invade your life and ruin your day being accepted has always been kind of a wacky thing, and you guys know how I'm always preaching about how fucked up parasocial relationships have gotten, so I'm not going to be one of the idiots on the internet who's like, oh, well, she doesn't have to be a celebrity. She chose to sing, which means she should have pictures taken of her on the toilet and be touched by people. It's part of the gig. Like, no, that's bullshit. But her being so open about how she doesn't really put up with a lot of the things that a lot of celebrities do is definitely skewing how people are perceiving this. But we'll get into that more later on. Right now, it's time to go through all this shit, starting with the Instagram post that started it all. Let's begin. Please subscribe. Alright, so here is the Instagram post from Jorginho. It's a lot, but I'll try to read fast. I went through a very upsetting situation with my family earlier today. My wife is in Sao Paulo for Lollapalooza. This morning, my daughter woke up incredibly excited. She even made a sign because she was so happy to see an artist she really admires, or used to admire, Chappell Roan. By coincidence, they're staying in the same hotel as this artist. During breakfast, the artist walked past their table. My daughter, like any child, recognized her, got excited, and just wanted to make sure it was really her. And the worst part is, she didn't even approach her. She simply walked past the singer's table, looked to confirm it was her, smiled, and went back to sit with her mom. She didn't say anything, didn't ask for anything. What happened next was completely disproportionate. A large security guard came over to their table while they were still having breakfast and began speaking in an extremely aggressive manner to both my wife and my daughter, saying that she shouldn't allow my daughter to disrespect or harass other people. Honestly, I don't know at what point simply walking past a table and looking to see if someone is there can be considered harassment. He even said that he would...
Or I don't even know how is it a harassment or disrespectful that an 11-year-old daughter is just walking past to make sure it's her. She was respectful, didn't even ask for an autograph, no picture, no nothing. She just walked past. That's when it happens. Now I understand why she hates them. Okay, now I understand why people hate her.
File a complaint against them with the hotel while my 11-year-old daughter was sitting there in tears. My daughter was extremely shaken and cried a lot. I've lived with football, public exposure, and well-known people for many years, and I understand very well what respect and boundaries are. What happened there was not that, it was just a child admiring someone. It's sad to see this kind of treatment coming from those who should understand the importance of fans. At the end of the day, they are the ones who build all of this. I sincerely hope this serves as a moment of reflection. No one should have to go through this, especially not a child. Then he tagged Chappell Roan again, saying without your fans, you would be nothing, and to the fans, she does not deserve your affection. Alright, so that was a lot, and I feel like right now is a good time to mention that, unfortunately, this is a situation where we are going to have to employ our critical thinking skills, because there's really no way to, know what actually went down here. All of the accounts are kind of conflicting. I mean, Chappell Roan herself says she didn't even see a little girl, so, I mean, we're just gonna have to use our brain a little bit here, and one part of this that stands out to me is that everybody involved is famous. Like I said, the man making this post is a famous soccer player, and he addresses that. But also, like I mentioned, this is the child's stepdad. Her father is Jude Law. So I feel like it'd be pretty safe to say that this kid is well acquainted with being around celebrities, which I was gonna say makes me feel like she would probably be more respectful than the average 11-year-old about a celebrity's boundaries. But then I was thinking about it, and I was like, well, I guess it could also go the other way, and she'd be like, well, I'm a celebrity, I can walk up to this table. So I mean, who knows what really went down, how it really played out. And it's gonna get even harder to nail down once we look at Chappell Roan's video, which she posted on her Instagram story shortly after all this hit the internet. Now real quick, just want to dispel some rumors, because I'm all about getting down to those brass tacks, baby. If you saw this post, it was fake. Okay, Chappell Roan never posted this to her story. It was just made up to muddy the waters, nothing new. This was her actual response.
I'm just gonna tell my half of the story of what happened today with a mother and child who were involved with a security guard who is not my personal security. I didn't even see a woman and a child. No one came up to me. No one bothered me.
Okay, so...
Well, because obviously if you realize that the girl didn't come up to you, she just went past your table and came back, didn't approach you, didn't take a photo, didn't do nothing, she never asked for your autograph. So yes, what she is saying is facts, but you still messed up badly as well, women.
Really, I feel like so far this is pretty much lining up with the original Instagram story post that kind of detailed what happened. I mean, you're probably not gonna notice everybody who walks past you, especially if you have a security detail. But I say that because I've seen a lot of people say oh, well, she said she didn't even notice a girl and her mom. How could this be true? Well, I mean, the guy originally said that the kid just walked past the table and that's all she did. So, I mean, really, they're kind of corroborating each other right now. The big thing is if Chappell decided to send the security guard over, which obviously from this account and the rest of this response, it would seem like she did not.
I was just sitting at breakfast in my hotel. I think these people were staying at the hotel as well. So the fact that a security guard I did not ask the security guard to go up and talk to this mother and child. They did not come up to me.
Okay, so this is just how I'm perceiving it, and obviously I'm not claiming this to be fact. This is just kind of my hypothesis. The way that she's talking about the security guard, at least to me, it kind of seems like she's trying to talk around the fact that this is not her personal security, but it is still security that was working on her behalf. You know what I mean? To me, there is a very big difference between what she said, which is that was not my personal security, and I did not ask him to do that, and just saying, I have no idea who that security guard was. I couldn't tell you why he did it. He's not working for me. However, I don't really think it makes all that big of a difference at the end of the day, and we'll talk about that here in a second, but I want to get through this first.
They weren't doing anything.
Wait, so isn't it the hotel's fault now? Because it's not your security, but also the girl didn't bother you. The security didn't approach her. Your security, for that's all I care about. But the hotel security did. So shouldn't the hotel security get like fired or something? You know what I'm saying? If that's what she's saying, it's true.
Unfair for security to just assume someone doesn't have good intentions when they have no reason to believe because there's no action even taken. Like, I do not hate people who are fans of my music. I do not hate children. Like, that is crazy. I'm sorry to the mother and child that someone was assuming something, that you would do something, and that if you felt uncomfortable, that makes me really sad. You did not deserve that.
Okay, so that's that, and there's one more response to look at, like I mentioned earlier, and that's the mother's response, but looking at that one's gonna kind of get us onto a different thing. I want to talk about these two stories and kind of where I land on them, because I really don't think this is that big of a deal, and I feel like most people, if you look at it with like good intentions, you know, not just a desire to get pissed off at somebody, you would probably come to the same conclusion. Personally, what I think happened here is something that is very common when celebrities go out of the country. You are assigned security you're not familiar with. Whether it was by the hotel, whether it was by her agency, whether it was from Lollapalooza. You know, when you go to a different country, obviously the laws are different. Your security from the country you are from might not have all the same rights. They might not have all the same privileges that a person operating as a security guard in that country already might have. So you're going to be assigned security who's not necessarily familiar with you, who you are also not familiar with. And I feel like the most likely scenario here is that they were briefed and they're like, hey, this particular artist is very strict about their boundaries. They don't like to be bothered. Make sure you're looking out. And this security guard probably heard that and then used that to make a judgment call that they probably shouldn't have made. I don't think Chappell Roan was over there like directing like, oh, go apprehend the child right now. Like, I think this was probably just a shitty misunderstanding, and that's it. You know, I feel like when stuff like this happens, the internet always wants one person or one group to be right, and it just doesn't have to be that way. If this actually happened as Giorgino said it did, then yeah, he is totally in the right to be upset that his daughter was treated that way, and his daughter is also in the right to be upset about being treated that way. And at the same time, if Chappell Roan's account is accurate, she's not at fault here. And I mean, given the situation, given the setting, it makes total sense
That's what
that
I'm
a security
saying, man.
guard that Chappell Roan is not familiar with would do something that she does not necessarily support. So I mean, really, I feel like the criticism should be falling on this bodyguard, which I haven't seen a whole lot of that, surprisingly. Walking up to an 11-year-old and saying you're being disrespectful and harassing somebody for walking past a table in a public space is ridiculous. And
That's what I said, bro. That's what I'm keep telling you, bro. Yo, I'm on Gaba. The security guard needs to get jumped, bro. Jumped, or he needs to get the fuck out, bro. I'm sorry, he's fired, bro. Please get him out, bro.
kind of curious to see if anything more comes out about that and like who exactly this guy was, who he worked for, what he was doing, because that is kind of crazy work. Anyways, like I mentioned, there is one more side to this story, and that is the mother's. But I watched her entire response. It's over 6 minutes long, and personally, I don't really think there's that much value in looking at this response because, well, really, let me just show you.
I don't know if it was her personal security guard, but he was with her. So that is all I know. Did she send him to do it? Again, I don't know. Look, I would like to hope not. So would he do that if he didn't have her authority to do so? I don't know. If he does, then obviously that's a big problem, because then he's representing her in a way that she doesn't want to be represented. So I think that's really important for her to notice and realize that's not correct. If she did not send him, I mean, even if she did send him or she didn't send him, I don't know. But lots of people were sending me messages like, is this true? Is this true? Is this true? And then lots of messages now about obviously Chappell's message that she's put out. So I hope that she did not know, and I hope that she did not send her security over to do this.
Okay, so those were just a few snippets from the mother's response, and my issue with this response is that it doesn't really tell us anything new. It's just kind of recounting what was said in the Instagram post, and then the things that she does add, it's basically just her saying, I don't know if this is true, I sure hope it's not, but boy oh boy, wouldn't it be bad if it was the truth? And I feel like that's just kind of a shitty thing to do. Like, it's one thing to say that we can't possibly know the full story, so you might have to fill some things in for yourself. It's completely different being like, wow, wouldn't it be pretty bad if the worst case scenario for everything was actually the case? You know, this would sort of be like me watching Chappell's response and coming out of it saying, well, she said she didn't even see a kid, so wouldn't it be bad if you were just lying about the entire thing? I hope that's not the case, but wow, what if you guys were just making this up? Like, that's kind of the kind of shit that this sounds like to me, and it's just like, what are we doing? On the same day, she posted this as well, which is a picture of her daughter with another artist with a caption saying, thanks for your kindness, and it's just like, are we really making these posts for the right reasons at this point? Sort of feels like we're not. Chappell apologized, said she had nothing to do with it, and then basically you're like, well, that might be the truth, I sure hope it is, but what if it's not? And then you start posting pictures of your kid posing with other celebrities being like, wow, look how kind these guys are. It just seems like we are maybe dragging this a little bit. I don't know. All I do know is that the mayor of Rio is not somebody whose bad side you want to end up on. Getting banned from an entire city is kind of crazy work. Well, guys, what are your thoughts? Like I said, I think that this is a situation that is likely just one giant misunderstanding, or really more so like a miscommunication. You know, I don't think the bodyguard like misinterpreted the 11-year-old girl as a real threat. I think he was just overreacting. But I don't think there needs to be like a bad guy in this situation. I think that everybody, for the most part, probably has a right to feel the way that they do. You know, it would kind of fucking suck if you walked past the table of a celebrity that you really like and one of their bodyguards walked up to you and was like, hey, are you a terrorist or something? But also, if you get assigned security that you're not familiar with and they kind of do shit on their own, not really your fault. I'm interested to see what you guys think about all this.
Honestly, my opinion, he's actually right with half of what he says. He has actually right, but now what he said was correct. But like, if it's your security guard, it's on you. But again, it's not her security guard. As she mentioned, it might be the hotel security. So yeah, my opinion, I think we should investigate this. Take it to part two, I think. And I think that the security guard needs to get fired, jumped, put on the curb. Fuck yeah, he needs to die. Like he needs to be gone ASAP, bro. Like because again, she's 11, never done anything. She just walked past. So as he really just said, it's either misunderstanding or miscommunication. Anyways, guys, I hope you really did enjoy that video. I hope you guys like and subscribe, turn on post notifications, show me some support, guys. I love you guys so much. Thank you for 31 subscribers. I actually never know I would do it. Love you guys so much. Stay blessed and have a fantastic day.